Hey guys, we're here back at home in our editing room. This video has changed a little bit, so we thought we'd do a bit of an intro.
Yeah, it needs a little bit of context because this video was meant to be just the wrap up of the Commander video, but we had so much fun in our first trip in the Commander that the video got so long, and you would have seen that a couple of weeks ago. So we've had a good opportunity though to get a huge amount of questions in around the Commander and what they've all focused around. And then when we looked at the footage of what we shot on our second trip in the Commander, it's basically become a video about what's the difference with all this extra luxury. Is it a hybrid? Is it a caravan? And all of those sorts of things. So I think the context of this video, whether you're looking at buying a JAWA or any other type of branded hybrid for that matter, this one's going to be a good one for you. You need to consider what's really important for the inclusions that are in your van. The other thing is... And
what you're going to do with your van and your trip. So make sure that you're considering that and not somebody else's trip.
100%. So we're actually going to go through in a coffee conversation in a second what we thought about that extra luxury. Do we love it? Was it okay? Would we not bother with it when we go to finally do our next van? The other thing is you're going to get an introduction to an absolutely stunning campsite, one that's very close to where the both of us grew up and first met. And it's close enough to Byron Bay, but far enough, if you know what I mean, away from Byron Bay as well. So stay tuned for the adventure of Broken Head because it is absolutely awesome. We hope you enjoy this video, guys. Make sure you're using the comments. I'd love to hear the questions and comments that come through around this particular video. And remember, your decision around your van is really going to be based on what you're looking for. Sorry, the answer to the question of is it a hybrid is, well, yeah, it kind of is. It's fully off-road. The suspension is fully prepared to do the Gibb River Road, for example.
Oh, yeah.
But it also pulls in the creature comforts of a full-size van. So it doesn't matter whether you call it a hybrid or a caravan. It doesn't change the fact that it is what it is. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Come along on the trip with us to Broken Head and whack all your questions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe because I've got way more cool stuff coming. Cheers, guys. Alright, here we are at Broken Head. This is close to where we grew up. I used to camp here when I was a little kid. There's the movie. It's the cutest little caravan park on Tallows Beach. Right up the end of a road.
I can't believe how busy it is. It's like 7:30 in the morning.
And there's people everywhere.
Let's check out the car park.
The surf's probably peeling, so the boys are keen. We're walking down to the beach access. That's Cape Byron in the distance, the lighthouse up there. Tallows Beach. The sun's not in a very good spot, but that's Broken Head.
Where do you want to go?
It's probably safer over here. Surfies do all their bloody stretches before they go out, mate, I've noticed these days.
Wow.
They've had safety instructions from the Mavo. So the van park's just over there. There's this great little walk, like a canopy walk through the pandanus and the bush. It runs all the way along the edge of the headland and out to Broken Head. I'll show you where. Yes, we do it in a second. You ready?
Three Sisters walking track, 1.6 km.
So these trees that form the canopy are called cottonwoods. They just grow over the walking path. How's that for a view? How's that for a view?
Pretty good.
Straight into the sun. That's broken head.
Wow. So cool.
Oh, it's a great spot. There's some hidden beaches around the corner. We know there's a nude beach around here. We're thinking that it's the one over there, but my eyes aren't good enough to see that far. Do you want to get your kid off, mate?
Nah.
Why not?
Maybe tomorrow.
Oh.
We got it.
Oh, mate lost his board. Must have snapped his leash. Or he hasn't got one. Definitely not see how smashed up it is. Oh,
Oh god.
that doesn't look that fun. Right there.
Go, mate. Go.
Welcome to Coffee with Deanette. We're going to have a chat about the new features that we've experienced with the Commander, which we haven't had in our previous vans. So just to run over them again really quickly, got a solid roof, so no pop top. First van that we've never had not had a pop top in. There's a microwave, there's an indoor fridge, there's instantaneous gas hot water. So and then there's just some general things that I'll probably wrap up with. So let's start with the upright fridge. What did you think, little Maybe?
So good. Love it. It's definitely a game changer. Absolutely loved it. It was easy access to get to as well. We found that we didn't use the, is it 95 litres?
Yeah,
95 litre fridge, the drawer fridge at all. We found that the 110 litre fridge, stand-up fridge, was plentiful. We had all our drinks, I guess, in the back of the ute anyway.
Yeah.
But we found that really good. And when you're cooking out in the kitchen, outside, it's just easy access. All you do is open the door, and then come to your fridge. You don't even have to step in the van. You just reach across and grab what you want from the fridge. You can see everything, so you're in and out really quickly.
Yeah, and I think to the point of the 95 litre outdoor fridge as well, we're, I guess, really well set up in that we've got a 70 litre fridge in the back of the car. So in terms of our drinking water, beer, all Mavo's gin and wine and cider and all that sort of stuff stays in the car. A couple of reasons we do that. One's redundancy in case something goes wrong with the batteries in the van. Not that I think Enerdrive stuff would ever happen like that, but even if the car fridge goes out, we can swap in between. If we were out in the bush for a week, we'd have two fridge solutions. Now, if you were running the two fridges here, and I guess the user cases would be, this has only got like one of those little bar fridge type freezers in the top of it. So if you wanted to run a bigger freezer, you could run one of the zones in the Evercool, because it's got that really cool function that you can run one zone and have another zone off. So maybe you'd want to run a freezer. The only thing you need to think about, well, there's two things you need to think about with the fridge setup in this. If you had both the 96 litre in the front and the 110 litre over there chockers, that'd be a fair bit of weight. And then also, if you're running this one in particular as a freezer, even though we've got 300 amp hours of Enerdrive, then that'd be a fair bit of battery draw. So it is really well set up. You got your external point for a soft panel, 400 watts of glass panels on the roof. But yeah, if you're running everything in here, particularly that one as a freezer, you're going to be drawing up to 6 amps, and you're going to run out of power in, you know, wet and overcast conditions. What did you think about the microwave, little Maybe?
Yeah, I don't think it's. I thought it was good to have. You used it for gravy. We didn't use it for anything else. If we were going to travel, would I require one? The answer would be no, I don't require one. We cook any of our veggies over the stovetop anyway, so it's something I could go without.
Yeah, it's one of those things, guys. Like, we did 12 months in our little Infinity 13. We didn't have a microwave, so we've adapted to not needing it. We actually don't use our microwave at home a great deal either, do we?
No, not really.
So realistically, guys, it's one of those things that's nice to have, but I don't think that we would opt for it in a van in the future, unless we were 100% living in it.
Yes.
And even then, I don't even know whether we would.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway.
It's a nice have. Do you need it? Probably not. Do we need it? Probably not.
We don't need it. But yeah, you might use it all the time.
Yeah.
You might love it.
Yep.
The only thing with the microwave, again, use it through the day while your battery's topped up. If you're off grid, no worries at all. If you're using it at night, it draws up to about 40 amps from what I could see on the app. So, you know, you're only running it for 2 or 3 minutes. Not so bad in terms of power draw. But if you were cooking a roast in it, might chew through your battery.
A roast?
Well, as best you can in a microwave. Wouldn't call it a roast, but anyway.
It's not a convection oven.
No, it's not. Anyway,
okay, moving along.
It's still cook and chook. Just might be a bit rubbery. Anyway, what else? We got instantaneous hot water. What did you think?
Look.
Come on, Maybe.
Alrighty. No, it was good. However, I personally probably wouldn't opt for it. It took a while for the hot water to run through, and if you were traveling and you were limited on your water, there's a fair bit of waste before you get to the hot water. So I wouldn't opt for it. It was nice. I mean, but for a van like this van may attract people that aren't going to go off-road very often. They may be in caravan parks a lot, where they've got abundance of water, so it's not an issue. So then it's fantastic for that.
And if you've got 2 or 3 kids that you're running through showers and yourselves and you want to get them done in, you know, half an hour or something like that, instantaneous is awesome, because the storage hot water that we've had before,
it runs out quickly.
One Mavo shower and I have to wait 15 minutes for the water to heat up. But I think it's horses for courses. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong.
It uses a fair bit of water because you're running the tap until it gets hot or warm or whatever you're requiring, whether it's a shower or washing up. You're running a fair bit of water before you can get to the hot.
I measured it, 2 to 3 litres of water. So before the hot water starts to cycle through, if you haven't been running it for, you know, a few hours and those sorts of things. So for me, as Dee said,
for what we do.
Yeah, for what we do when you're off grid, 2 to 3 litres of water is probably enough water for us to drink in a day. So you don't want to be wasting that if you're only using the 240 litres.
Yeah.
But caravan parks, lots of kids, using lots of hot water, then it's a perfect solution. So it's just, for us, we probably wouldn't opt for it. But if you're, you know, doing, you know, camping differently to what we do, then it's an awesome solution.
Yeah. Yep.
Where else? What else have we got? Solid roof. What is it?
Oh, I don't know. I love the solid back, the solid roof. I love it all. But for what we do as well, and the remote places that we go, and I guess the confined spaces that we like to take our vans, it's not optimal that, you know, we have.
It's just you can take the roof off doing some of the stuff.
Yeah. So as much as I love this is a treat. But for us and what we do and where we go and the remoteness, unfortunately, I probably prefer the pop-top roof. Not necessarily the pop-top back, but for what we do, definitely a pop-top roof. Anyway,
really quickly, front bed at the front of the van rather than the back of the van.
I didn't really find any preference, to be honest.
I like the front bed.
Do you?
I like the front bed because we've got, I'll quickly just show you, we've got the window at the front, and we've got this beautiful, well, we've got it closed because the sun's belting in there. We had that beautiful skylight. So when we were out at Conondale, where there was no, you know, no street lights and that sort of thing, as opposed to the caravan park here, we were lying in bed looking out the window above our head and looking out at the stars. And just looking up at the stars. I really liked it. I thought,
the skylight's actually bigger than any other van
a huge skylight,
that we've had. So it's massive. I mean, I could definitely climb out of that. Do you know what I mean? It's massive. Maybe two of me could climb out of that. Anyway, it's big. It's the largest that I've seen in a Jawa.
What did you think about climbing out of it? You're a weirdo. All right, so a couple of other things. Obviously, the solid roof allows for all of these overhead cupboards that you can see above us and on the other side here.
Yeah.
That would be, for a maybe who loves storage space and that sort of thing, an amazing thing. But we've got a couple of words of just caution with it.
Yeah.
What did you think, Amy?
Yeah, you really need to be conscious or aware of how much the van weighs to begin with. So how much does a van?
About 2.5 tonne.
2.5 tonne. So it's a heavy van, and then with all the empty space that you've got, you're more inclined to fill it, right? So I would be very, very conscious of how much more you are adding to the weight of the van by using all of the overhead cupboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, guys. When you travel, you don't need a full 8-piece dinner set.
No,
with bowls, sauces, blah, 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 blah. And we have seen people travelling with their vans kitted out with that much stuff. You need a couple of plates.
Yeah.
If you meet friends on the road, guess what? They're going to have their plates too. So if you have them over for a feed or something like that, you just get them to bring their plates.
Yeah, and try and get bamboo stuff. So again, it doesn't break and it's not as heavy. So
we love all of the cupboard space in the Commander. It just gives you a new element in terms of how much stuff you can bring in there. The only other thing I'd be careful of is with the overheads. Make sure you're putting light stuff up there, because in terms of the dynamics, when you're towing your van, 90 to 100 k's down the highway, you want your centre of gravity relatively low, in line with the car and those sorts of things. So don't overload your overhead cupboards with too much heavy stuff. Again, it's great for storing clothes that aren't heavy. It's great for storing,
light
GoPro bits and pieces,
computer bits.
So just be really careful you're not filling it up too much that you push yourself over your weight limits.
And there's so much space under this seat and also under the bed as well.
And on the outside of the van in the big pantries and that sort of thing. Yeah,
so you've really got to be, yes, the space is there, but be very, very mindful of what you're putting in there because you're adding to the weight of the van.
Yeah, and it's great. A lot more people are aware of weights and those sorts of things now. So, again, horses for courses. So many options in terms of where you store your stuff in this van. Just make sure you don't overload it.
Yeah.
All right, we've done the fridge, we've done the instantaneous gas, we've done the microwave, we've done the bed setup. A couple of other things that have popped into my mind. The electrical fit out of the Commander is A1 in terms of the availability of power points inside when you're either using your power pass inverter or your AC transfer inverter, or plugged into the mains like we are here. There's heaps of power points inside and outside. There's heaps of USB points and 12-volt sockets around the van as well, which is another luxury that you don't necessarily look for when you're buying a van off a showroom floor and you've looked at 15 different companies. You don't remember the electrical fit out, but I'm telling you, I'm really, really happy with the abundance.
Yeah.
And our Infinity 13 was the same, but there is an abundance of options within this van.
I really like where the heater switch is too. It's up out of the way here. It's not down at your feet where it can be knocked.
Yeah. Same as your inverter controls, which is inside the main control panel cupboard, right beside the microwave there. So yeah, it is really well thought out in terms of where all the appointments are. Bathroom?
Yeah, bathroom's great.
Good size.
It's actually wider than the Stealth 12 and 15. So I found it bigger. It's got the cabinetry in it as well, which is nice, and a really nice basin. I found it great.
We're gonna actually, and we haven't been in a Sirocco yet, we haven't been in a lowdown yet, but we've been through the Infinities, the Stealth, and now the Commander.
Yeah.
I hope that coffee conversation didn't come across as there's lots of things to worry about with this van. It's quite the contrary. It's absolutely
it's a fantastic van.
Stunning.
Yeah.
It's just, you need to think about how you're planning to use these vans. As a touring van, you're not going to go too far off grid in terms of really tight beach tracks with, you know, low-lying trees and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to stick to more registered campsites, caravan parks and those sorts of things. This van
free camping
is amazing.
and that, but
yeah,
obviously knowing what they look like before going there.
Just make sure you're not going to take this into somewhere where there's lots of overhanging low branches and those sorts of things, and you will absolutely love this van. So you know, 2 thumbs up for us.
Beautiful van.
Yeah, it's a couples touring van.
Yeah,
that's my view. Hope you love it.